What up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino, and y'all are tuned in to another episode of K-Rino Radio YouTube edition. And tonight, I'm so honored to have this queen, this sister, this great, great warrior on the show with us tonight. She is a veteran Black Panther member, revolutionary, filmmaker, author. She's the co-founder of the United African Alliance Community Center. She's performed all over Africa, all over the United States, and she's currently living in Africa. And she will be blessing us in the city of Houston with her presence on October the 17th. We are glad and honored to have Mama C in the building. How are you feeling, Queen?
I'm feeling good, brother. Had a full 2 days here in San Diego and at the World Beach Center, and I'm headed to DC in the morning. And the tour has officially begun. And I look forward to being there in Houston.
We are so looking forward to having you in the city. You have done so much in what I like to say a short period of time because you're still
Mhm.
young and still active and still energetic. Can you give us like a background or just a history on your background and let people know part of your journey and how you got started in this revolutionary war that we are
Yes.
in?
Well, me and my husband were Black Panthers. He's the founder of the Kansas City chapter and the chairman. And that's where I met him when I was 18 years old, brother. And we've been together 56 years.
Love.
It's such a blessing. So him being one of the leaders, I know many of your listeners will realize that many of the leaders were targeted by COINTELPRO, where he was one that was targeted. uh, there was all kind of issues going on. He was erroneously charged, as many of our comrades were, with carrying a gun across state lines. And there's no statute of limitations on that after he was convicted and received 4 or 5 years. So we left in 1970 and thought we would be back in 2 years to carry on the struggle on these shores in America, but it was 20 years before I came back, and he still hasn't come back. And even though people have been, over the years have drawn up petitions for him to get that case wiped off the book, he's like, I am doing the work that I'm supposed to do. He said, concentrate on the political prisoners, not on trying to get him back, you know, because once should I keep on?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Okay, we went to Algeria because that was the international section of the Black Panther Party, and a lot of comrades were there, a lot of exiles were there. But after 2 years, things started changing with the government there that was very supportive with liberation movements all around the world. And people started telling us, y'all need to come to Tanzania. So, and this was the era of socialism. President Nyerere, he was a Pan-African stalwart. He was one of our heroes. So we came to Tanzania, brother, and haven't looked back since. We came to Tanzania to learn how to be farmers and homesteaders and pioneers, and we eventually built the United African Alliance Community Center. And Brother Pete, I have to give him all the credit for establishing the Leaders of Tomorrow Children's Home. So it's the community service of the Black Panther Party that continues to inform everything that we do. It's been such a blessing in our life to be on that road, that has elevated so many young people and some elders, and kept our spirit elevated. So we blessed, brother. I
Absolutely.
myself, I myself was born in Kansas City, Kansas in 1951. I'm 74 years old. Brother Pete's 85, huh? And one of our comrades, Seth Well, used to say, we're going to bop till we drop.
Come on
And
now.
that is, yes, that's the way I feel. I'm a musician. I love conscious hip hop. Arusha, where we live, is the capital of conscious hip hop. And I work a lot with the youth there. Matter of fact, they call me BB of hip hop. BB means grandmother. And I like that. So, and I also compose my own music. I'm a ATR priestess. I do film, I'm a poet, and I'm a share of all of that in Houston.
No doubt about it. You talking about poetic, revolutionary, and revolutionary poems. I've heard you get down. I wanted to ask you because I was curious when y'all left to go to Africa.
Uh-huh.
Did y'all have any connections out there? How did y'all just go out there? Were y'all just in the blind? Just we gonna set up shop and just show up and see what we can pull off? How did y'all
Yes.
establish with home with housing and all that?
Right. Well, in Algeria, we of course had connections with the other exiles, the revolutionaries who were there. You've probably heard of Sekou Odinga, Eldridge Cleaver, Kathleen Cleaver, Don Cox, a lot of them. But when we went to Tanzania, there were there was a contingent of Africans from the Midwest. One of them was one of our Panther brothers, and they're the ones who urged us to come. We lived on the coast in Dar es Salaam for a year and a half, but then we went to Arusha. We didn't have a home or anything like that. We was renting a house, but we said we don't want to be renting here. We were able to get some land and we started building. Huh? We started building and building until I think now we must have 11 or 12 buildings on that land, And we had to learn, brother, and this is what I always tell people, that you have to be able to work hard. But we had that Panther background that, we knew about working hard, right? When we first went there, when we first started building, it was, it's a farming community, the Wameru community, but the farms are so far apart and we're so close to Arusha Wildlife Reserve. So we would have hyenas coming all in there. We just had this sisal pole fence. We would have Cape buffalo run up and down the road, all kind of things, snakes galore, cobras. So like I said, we didn't have running water, we didn't have electricity, but we had strong will, And when Brother Geronimo Gijaga was finally released from prison after having been there for 27 years, the government offered him compensation. I don't think they do that these days, a whole lot of money, because it was proven, his lawyer was Johnny Cochran, and it was proven that he was unjustly in prison for 27 years. So we were one of the first places he came to after Ghana. And he asked us, what is your greatest need? And our greatest need, not only ours, but our whole community, was running water. He gave us $10,000 just like that so we could drill a well. And brother, when we struck that I almost said oil. It was like oil. That water came gushing up. There was drumming and dancing, everybody celebrating. And to this day, we're still using that water. Brother Pete learned he went to appropriate technology school and learned how to build a windmill. So we had wind generated electricity for quite some time. We're on the national grid now, But we had to learn how to be homesteaders, raising chickens by the hundreds and rabbits and cows. It was my duty to milk the cows, and pigs. Sorry for my Muslim brothers and sisters, but we do it. I'm making sausage and all that because this is how we survived and thrived off of our farm products. So I always tell people, if you come into another country, specifically Tanzania, because that's what I know, you got to be able to work hard. Hmm?
Right.
Yeah, we don't do that kind of work like that now because we've taught a lot of the youth, huh? But we did it for years, brother. I used to be so proud of the calluses on my hands, because that indicated that I was working hard. So you gotta be prepared to throw down.
And I think
Then
I
the
think that
huh?
just out of necessity, those
Out of necessity.
y'all acquired those skills out of necessity because now here you are in this country you had never been in, and it's like losing is not an option at this point. We got to figure out how to survive, and then
That's right.
the situation
And
from surviving to actually thriving.
that's right.
That's a beautiful thing. I
I
want.
hope you get a chance to come there one
Oh,
day,
I'm gonna be
brother.
there. Oh, well, I'll
Yes,
go to Tanzania. I definitely want to come one day. I thought you meant Houston, but that's one of my goals. To go to Tanzania specifically because I'm watching the Serengeti on TV and all that type of stuff there. But I definitely want to get out there one day, inshallah.
yes, yeah. It's beautiful
Uh,
and peaceful,
yeah,
and you can exercise your creativity. You can live your dreams. You can live the dreams of your. We are the dreams of our ancestors realized,
absolutely.
and so we feel a duty to make sure that we're presenting a good example, that we're sharing our wisdom, that we're sharing our skills, So I tell also a lot of youth, yeah, you can go to college, you can do this and that, but you need to learn how to do something with your hands too,
Hands on.
how to build, you know?
That's right.
Yes,
Right.
I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
we lost a lot of that just from generation to generation.
That's right.
In the quest for a lot of parents to make it easier for their children than it was for them. It's one thing to make it easier, but it's another thing to not just ignore the principles of hard work that you still have to instill in a child, even if you want to make things easier for them. You know. Can I ask
Even
you
being
something?
able to grow your own food.
Yeah,
I
oh,
see so many empty lots when I go to these many cities in the States. I said, why can't we like clear those lots and grow food in the communities? I know some places they are doing
yes,
that,
yes, ma'am.
and you got elders who have that kind of knowledge. You got elders here who know about plumbing and electricity and masonry and all that. We got to take it back to the way it was, and especially in these times, brother.
You took the thought out of my mind. In the times we're living in now, it's imperative that we learn how to grow our own food because the time is gonna come soon where we're not able to go to the grocery store and do all that. So those qualities will be life-saving qualities
Yes,
at some point,
yes,
or life-losing qualities if we don't learn them real fast.
it's true.
The question I wanted to get to also, you coming up in that time where it was really heavy. You mentioned the COINTELPRO earlier and how they were really, really targeting Black organizations, whether it be the Panthers, whether it be the Nation of Islam, whether it be Martin Luther King, the Civil Rights Movement, anything Black, they was going at them. Um, were you ever around any of the brothers like Fred Hampton and then Huey and then those brothers around the time of y'all were y'all just in the Kansas City area just doing y'all thing as far as the work
Mhm.
side?
I actually never met Huey. I actually never met Fred. I think Brother Pete did, but I've met a whole bunch of other brothers and sisters,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's a beautiful thing that there are people who are trying to keep that history alive. Because I'm telling you, I go to a lot of these schools here. I was in at a school in Kansas City before I came to San Diego. They knew nothing about the revolution. They had so many erroneous ideals that they've been fed, from the news media, that so much of the history is being wiped out. So that's one of my missions too, is to make sure, especially young people, understand and embrace our history and learn from that history and carry the torch, because we getting old. Like I'm 74, they ain't that old, but Brother B's 85. And some of these youth that I met here in San Diego, they are embracing that revolutionary culture. You see them with their berets on and this and that, and they're doing community service, and that's what it all boils down to. Community service, and building unity. And that's what we do, and we've carried that on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You spoke about Tanzania being one of the biggest um, conscious hip hop hubs.
Yeah.
And I think, and you can tell me how you feel about this, I think that that's one of the things that turned the mindsets of our youth around when the enemy got a hold to hip hop and they were able to change the content and make it so negative and push it on radio or mainstream media.
That's right.
What do you think we have to do? Because they figured it out, meaning the enemy. They figured out like we'll never let any conscious music see the light of day on a big scale.
Mm-hmm.
What, in your opinion, needs to be done to help conscious artists anywhere in the world get that message out so it can reach more younger people coming up?
Yes, those corporations wave that carrot in front of people, and just change the whole thing. Now I tell you what happens in Arusha. There's a lot of groups or what do you call it? Not cliques, clans or whatever. And there's a lot of venues, huh? Even on the streets, the way it used to be, where you set up a stage, one of those little stages, and the brothers and sisters be delivering that hip hop message. And there's so much cooperation, and everybody who comes there, they recognize, they say, wow, nobody is like trying to get up on somebody, everybody's cooperating, and I think that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And the message is relevant. These youth, and some of the OGs, they remember the 5 elements of hip hop, and they incorporate that into what they're doing. Some of them have even started embracing farming, which is a very good example to the young people. You can be a hip hop artist, but you got to do practical things also. And one of them is to be farming and to be an entrepreneur. So you'll see a lot of them, selling their jewelry and clothing and all of that. We have workshops sometime with the hip hop artists, especially when some of them who might be new on the scene and think it's cool to like use the N word and use cuss words and to water down the message and so. Well, we have workshops about that and let them know that ain't the way to go, brother. That ain't the way to go, sister. And I love working with the hip hop community, and they love me too. Even at this age, huh? Yeah, I can't rap, but I give very good background.
Well, I believe that poets can rap and rappers can do poetry. So,
Yes.
but one of the qualities that I also believe in is when each generation embraces the other. If us as the older generation, if we don't condemn the young people, but take them in and embrace them, like you said, and be willing to teach and also be willing to learn from them.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's what fuses us together. So by you
Right.
know how you interact with them, I would assume that their acceptance of you is largely based on the way you treat them. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very true. Was it last month? we hosted at the center a big hip hop gathering. And the purpose of it was because we were starting to see little pockets of people like having I got jet lag, brother, so some of the words are kind of hard to come up with, having beef
Yeah.
with each other. So we had a gathering, we had a lot of food, we had a dialogue going on, huh? Which has everybody. So I'm gonna send you that link to that, huh? Even some of the brothers and sisters, not sisters, but some of the brothers got up and said how they saw how them being addicted to drugs was really, dampening down their spirit and all that. And they did their testimonials about that. And these are prominent hip hop artists, And another brother, he started what is called a sober house, to help these brothers, very few sisters, but help these brothers overcome their drug addiction and stuff. And then we ended it with this fire cipher. It was so beautiful. I'll be sure and send you that.
Send me all that. Send me all.
Yes.
I saw you um playing this instrument. I don't want to mispronounce it, but it's one is called, is it the Nayat?
Yeah, Titi.
Nayati?
Yeah, Titi. I just came from a jam at World Beat Center and I was playing that and mixing it with guitar and I played the go-go bells and all that. Well, I don't play guitar, but one of the brothers there was playing. I mean, had me just dripping sweat. It was so fun. I love that. I love to jam. I love improv. And I hope that I'll see you in Houston and we'll be able to do some jamming.
I
Huh?
will be there. We're gonna definitely do some jamming. We will.
Okay, I'm ready for it. I also play Obokano, which it looks almost like a nyatiti. I also play Kamau and Ngoni, which is in the family of chorus. I play all kind of percussions. I do a little drumming too. You got to do your drumming.
Yeah,
And I'm a vocalist, of course. I compose all of my music, but I love improvisation.
yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, that's
Hmm.
what we are. Can you kind of give us some significance of the importance of the drum? Because what happens is, like when we go to these, we go to Kwanzaa events here in the city and different events, and everything starts with the drum. Everything starts
Yes,
with the drumming, and that's a part of our culture that
right.
has even translated into hip hop because while it's not a physical drum, it's that beat. It's that drum beat, that heavy drum beat. Can you kind of
Yes,
make our young people understand why the drum? What's the importance of the drums?
because that is our heartbeat.
Mm,
Huh? That is our heartbeat. And in Tanzania and Arusha, we do use sometimes traditional drums, and somebody can be drumming. Sometimes somebody can hear raindrops falling, and you can just get into that beat, huh? But yeah, the drum is our heartbeat. And the fact that, drumming was outlawed here in the States, they used to cut off people's hands because they realized that's an effective way to communicate, huh? Yes, yes, my brother. So don't y'all forget the drum, huh? Don't forget that. And if you don't have a drum, you can clap.
mm.
Yes, yes. All we need is a beat, and then we just flow with it.
You know what's funny? Now that
Huh?
you're saying that, when I was coming up
Hmm.
early in my rap journey,
Yeah.
we would be in the classroom beating on the desk.
Yes.
That was our drum beat, and we're not even thinking about the cultural connection. Just the drum. It was just naturally in us.
It's natural.
The beat any kind of way. We on the bus,
Yeah,
hit the, and it's just innately in us. For
that's right.
drum, man, for that drum to be playing like that.
That's right. And then everybody just jump in,
Yeah,
have you build your cipher around that,
right.
We
100%.
are so blessed. We are so blessed that we're able to express our creativity, I mean, that's a blessing because many people grow up, even reach adulthood, and don't realize that they are artists
Right.
and that they need to embrace that, because art is healing, all kind of art, whether it's music or poetry or uh, dance or any of that. That's the way we express ourselves. That's the way we elevate ourselves, and it elevates everything around us.
Absolutely, absolutely. So being over in Africa all these decades, and clearly you and Brother Peter, like, we good over here. We ain't.
That's right.
Have y'all still been keeping an eye on a lot of things that go over here in America? Because you have all the injustice, police brutality, all the situations where
Yes.
men and women have been killed, racist police. Do y'all keep an eye on that sort of thing?
Yeah, we keep an eye on it. Not constantly, but we definitely keep informed,
Yeah.
and we're in communication with some of the people. I mean, our children are over here,
Yeah.
you know. Yes, yes, and a lot of our relatives, and it's really a sad, dangerous situation, and I think that those who are living inside of America have to think of other means, to deal with that. But many people, brother, are now moving to Africa, both in Ghana and Tanzania, because there's a lot of opportunities there, because I'm here right now, and there's peace,
Yeah.
which is so very important that you are surrounded by peace. And a lot of times you can't have that here. People need to understand that this ain't the only place in the world that we should be aspiring to live. I mean, the whole world, the whole planet belongs to us.
That's right.
Yeah. So th- our people need to take the blinders off, especially the youth, and let them know there's other ways of living. You don't have to worry about police gonna gun you down there. The police there are generally what we were talking about in the 10-point party platform, where they should be somebody from your community. They'll stop us sometime in the car just to say hello.
Uh,
You don't get that tensed up feeling, the police are stopping us and this and that. You don't have that there. But a lot of these youth don't realize that there's another way to live, that you don't have to be surrounded by that.
yeah. We've been blocked. That information has been blocked along with the false presentation of what Africa is.
Yes,
Savages, mud huts, it's no
right.
civilization, no technology. It's just
Yes.
that's been instilled in a lot of us and making us have this salty image or this false image of Africa. And that's just not.
Even to be ashamed.
Yeah. Right.
You know,
Right.
and that's a sad situation. And we who are knowers,
Mm.
we who know, it's our duty to make sure that these young people and the elders know it ain't like that. Nothing wrong with living in a mud hut, because I don't say hut, mud house.
Right.
Hmm? Because there's still people who live like that, right? But they got their cell phones
Come on.
and they got their this, and they're teaching their children and all of that. But some of our cities, even in Arusha, are large and well equipped. You know what I mean? I mean, that's a tourist place
Right.
also. So
Yeah.
you got to have good hotels. You got to have good restaurants. And, when you're on your way to the Serengeti, and I hear you, but the Serengeti is beautiful. You heard of Ngorongoro Crater?
Ma'am.
Yeah, that's another place, Ngoro Crater.
Okay. Okay. Now.
And Arusha Park that is near us. That's why all them hyenas and all them used to come in our area. But they don't do that anymore because they don't like to be around people. Wildlife does not like to be around people
It does.
because they know what's going to happen.
Yeah, no
So
doubt.
they stay in their wildlife reserves. But Arusha, where we live, that's a jumping off point for a lot of wildlife adventures. And plus, we're like 30 miles as a crow fly from Mount Kilimanjaro, the tallest mountain in Africa. And the tallest free range, I didn't even know this, tallest free range mountain in the world. Free range as opposed to like mountains like the Appalachians or Himalayas or where they're all connected. Mount Kilimanjaro just juts up out of the land. It's a beautiful. Brother Pete has climbed it 3 times.
Wow, come on, come
And
on.
we're right on the foothills of Mount Meru,
Right.
which is a beautiful, beautiful. And people were asking me this today, actually. They said, why do you think Tanzania has remained so peaceful when it's so many other countries in Africa who might have beef with each other? One of the reasons is because Tanzania has 120 something tribes. Everybody speaks their own language, but right, President Nyerere, he urged everybody to learn Kiswahili also. So everybody's able to communicate, and there's no religious strife. That there might be like half of the population, or almost half, is Christian, the other half is Muslim, but you still have people who are also practicing underground the indigenous religions. No strife, none of that. Everybody gets along. I know I'm painting it like it's an idyllic situation. It is to me.
Right.
It's like paradise, but there's things that happen that you might not, want to see happen, but on a very low scale.
That's it. That's anywhere in the world. But since we got about 2 minutes,
Okay.
I want to promote the event October the 17th at the Shape Center in Houston, 3903 Alameda. Mama C will be in the building, and I will be right
Yes.
there too. Right there,
Yes.
rocking out. We're gonna make sure we get everybody in there, and we appreciate everything you've done. For us as a people, all of the knowledge and wisdom, your art, your music, and just the struggle of being a revolutionary and a pioneer of our revolution and our struggle,
Yeah.
Brother Pete. And we're looking forward to hearing more of that history, Queen. Do you have like an Instagram, anything you want to give people real quick?
Yeah. I have a Facebook that's Charlotte Hill O'Neill.
Okay, I'll share it.
And I also have an Instagram that I don't go on that much, but it's official Mama Charlotte.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes, yes.
I'm gonna make
And
sure.
I got YouTube channels. I got too many YouTube channels because I forget the password and start another one. But yeah, but I'll send you links and everything. And I can't wait to see all of y'all in Houston.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes,
Good shout out to my big brother, Brother Kofi Tahar,
yes,
National Black United Front, for familiarizing me with you. And we're looking forward to really, really just getting this absorbing. We
yes.
like just as a sponge, we just gonna
Uh,
absorb all your greatness, Queen. And we
And
appreciate.
I got to give a shout out to Brother John Creer also.
Okay, shout out, shout out.
Yes,
Mama
yes.
T has blessed us with that's just a nugget, y'all. Y'all will get the whole meal October 17th, and she's here in the U.S. for a brief time.
Okay.
Is she going back to Tanzania?
All right. Much love, my brother. Peace,
Much
love,
love.
and blessings.
Peace and blessings to you, Queen. It's your big brother K-Rino. We'll catch y'all on the next one real soon. Peace.
Peace.